would say, for you, maybe you're out there and you'd want to venture into this business, I'm willing to share on how you can start. First of all, you have to have the right documentation, like you have to be a member of the Estate Agent Registration Board. I know there are so many people out there who are practicing as agents illegally because they don't have that practicing certificate. So that is illegal. Even for you as the owner of the building, you're not supposed to be giving your building for someone who can't provide this document. It's very necessary, because even if they were to run away with your money, even if you take them to courts, there's nothing that can be done to them because they are not known by the government. So that is one of the requirements. The other requirements, you have to have the licenses from City Council. That is another requirement. Then from there, of course, you have to have the working capital for you to start, because even for you to take a small office, like the way we started, the humble beginning, we had one room. Yes, you have to pay rent. Maybe you are going to have one employee, so you have to have some money for you to start. Those are the most important things for you to start. Then from there, maybe you can volunteer you as the owner of the business. You go out there, maybe telling people the reason as to why they should give their properties to you. Maybe you can sell your points. For we as Great Mwanzo, like we have always told you that we do upfront payment. We pay even before we collect from the tenants. That is one of the catch for us. At the same time, we have MOUs with different financial institutions, whereby maybe if you have a property in Eastlands or any other place and you don't have a title, maybe you have an allotment or a lease, and you have the ability to pay this money. Reason being, maybe you have the rental income. You can come to Great Mwanzo. We take you to one of those financial institutions whereby you get a loan, maybe to build another building, or maybe you have done that building partly and you would want to complete that building. You can come to Great Mwanzo. We take you there. You complete that building. That is another advantage of joining Great Mwanzo.
You need finances because of the day-to-day learning of the day-to-day operations of the business. You see, you have staffs, you need to pay them their salaries. Also, sometimes, there are tenants who are called professional tenants. So they don't pay their rent, they disappear. So maybe you have to go to court to get a breaking order. And you see, because this landlord gave you the business, he will say he's not involved. So you have to have the finances to go to court, maybe to hire the auctioneers. So you need the finances.
First of all, I would say we have realized over time in doing this business, there are some clients who have been coming into this place, that is Great Mwanzo. Reason being, they just want to take this facility. So with time, we sat down and discussed. We decided for us to recommend you, because there's a recommendation letter that you have to write to the bank, telling them that we recommend this person, you have known this person for this number of months or years, we recommend that you can give this person loan. You see, for us to recommend you, first of all, we have to be with you like for 6 months. We have to know of your character, because there are some people without the right character. You have seen people here, you pay them even before you collect, then they go and take money from the tenants. That has been one of the challenges. So we have to be with you like for 6 months. We know whether you are a person of the right character. At the same time, we also want to know whether you are the owner of this building, because there's someone who is going to come here, pretend that you are the owner, but mark you, it is a family building or premise. So first of all, we have to carry out a research very well in those 6 months for us to know whether this person can qualify for this facility.
For you to do this business and for you to grow from one place to the others, you have to be very honest, because that is what the clients want. The clients want somebody who is very honest, somebody they can trust with their money. Because for sometimes we get a client, he or she asks us, we'll be collecting around 2 million from my property. How do I trust you? Which is my security, because you might collect the money and run away with it. But for us, we are contented with our commission. We make sure whatever date we have said we will pay you, we make sure we pay you on that date. So what I would advise the people who maybe want to do this kind of business, honesty is key. Honesty is key in this business. What we do, we charge 10% of the total rent. If maybe you are collecting 2 million, we take 10% of that 2 million, which amounts to 200,000. So every month we'll be collecting 200,000 from your properties. But according to the income of the property, the rate can be negotiable.
Yeah. Wow. 10%. Let's talk about 10%. Is this 10% inclusive or exclusive of what do you call them? Utility, maintenance, and all these other things that come during tenancy?
Or it is 10% exclusive of the utilities. You know, if there are utilities like water bill, those ones are paid separately. Yeah, so it is 10% exclusive of the utilities. But if you want us to pay to even, you know, here it determines, we go case by case depending on the property owner. The property owner may tell you correct rent, but the caretaker will be billing the water bills and what have you. So if we are correcting rents, it's 10% the rent. But if we are collecting the utilities, we will also charge something on the utilities. Like I said before, it will go case by case depending on the landlord. Some landlord will tell you, repair, maybe we call them, the tenants will call us because we are the one who deal directly with the tenant and tell us maybe my shower needs to be repaired. We call the landlord. The landlord will either authorize us repair the shower but deduct from my income maybe next month. That's what happened. Or the landlord might decide, let me send my fundi to the property and he does the repair. So here we go according to what the property owner wants.
I would want to say, when it comes to Estate Agent Registration Board, you are supposed to follow the laid down rules and regulations. But sometimes we feel that, yes, we are a bit infringed by those rules. Reason being, especially for those people who are paying 3,000 shillings and less, it's like the government favors those tenants. So if you don't know how to deal with this tenant, or maybe you just go and decide now that this tenant maybe has become a stubborn tenant, for lack of a better word, you just go and throw his or her things just out like that, you might face it rough. So yes, I can say for sure you have to work with the laid down rules and regulations, but sometimes those tenants, they are, maybe we can call them troublesome tenants, yeah, for lack of a better word. At the same time, we as Great Mwanzo, with time, like I was sharing with Lynn, your colleague, we have realized that nowadays we don't take single rooms because that is where there's a lot of work when you're managing single rooms. And that's why for anyone who is maybe planning to start this business, you have to start from there. Because even for the houses that you are managing, the ones that you started with, there's no way you can tell the owners that right now I can't manage for you now that I've grown to this. Because nowadays we are taking high-end properties, we have to. But at least for the ones that are coming in inquiring for our service as single rooms, those ones we don't, because there's a lot of work for you to manage those properties.
I can say those are the two main challenges that we face, whereby the tenant default in rent payment, or maybe you pay a property owner and he goes behind and take the rent. The other challenges are just the normal challenges, the day-to-day challenges that maybe an employee didn't report to work, yeah, such other challenges that we face.
Okay, yes, I just want to add on her point. Okay, I was saying, it's like a challenge. Yes, it is a challenge because there's this customer, because most of the customers that you are working for, they're in diaspora. Most of them, some in Canada, USA, UK. Yes, they have given us business, and there's this issue of trust. Like I remember there was one who wanted maybe to give us a house, 100,000 house in Muthaiga North Estate. Now this client, she's called Asunta. She was telling me, Lucy, how can I trust you? Yes, I've seen you have the necessary documentation. How can I be sure, because I've been conned before by some other agents, that you're not going to be like them? You're not going to collect my money and run away with my money. So I'm fearing, can you give me your asset value? You see, so that one is another challenge that we are facing, issue of trust. So I told this client, maybe I can give you 3 contacts for some other people I'm working for. Those people, they are where you are. That is how we did that business, because I sent to this client those contacts, then akaichunguza na akaona that was true, and that's how she gave us that business.
So in short, you're saying also networking in this business is very important. And also
True.
just having a good rapport with you, the people you manage.
True.
be very good referees.
Yeah, they act as brand ambassadors for this company, in fact. First of all, I would say for us to remain relevant for all those years and for us to be making profits up to this day, I would say first of all, it is by the grace of God. We are a prayerful institution. We know how to trust in God, because like any other person out there, yes, we've been having a fair share of our challenges, whereby we have faced so many challenges. But we always say, by the time you are driving your vehicle on the road, you can't tell what is maybe far away from where you are. You are just driving. So that's how we've been doing our business. We take every day at a time. We work hard for our clients. We make sure we deliver. We make sure that we don't do monkey business like some other people. They have that katama. Let me use that word in quotes. That tama. Yani they want to collect this money. They forget this is not my money. This is someone else's money. We always forget even the millions that are being put into our account every day. That is not our money. That's why we have an internal auditor who comes here and says, this is money for expenses, blah, blah, blah. Then from there, we know where we are going wrong. Maybe if we have allocated a lot of money in marketing department or any other department, we are able to cut on that cost, you see. So you have to have the knowledge to do this business. At the same time, you have to do your maths, because maybe you may be going wrong. Maybe you are paying your employees huge salaries, maybe even something that you're not getting from the business you are doing. You have to look on all those areas.
I would like to say that as we continue, we are planning to nest our wings outside the country, because now we are almost in all parts of the country, but we are planning that, God willing, in future, as we continue with this business, we might go abroad and above to manage properties even in other countries.
I would say, first of all, let me just repeat the branches that we have, maybe because some of the clients or maybe some of the people who inquire on how to start this business, they can visit our offices, and we can share that information on how you can start this business. So let me start by sharing our offices. One of the offices is just across the road, Two Rivers. You know Two Rivers?
Yes.
Two Rivers, just across the road. There's a building by the name Runda Shopping Center, first floor. We are there. That is one of the offices. Here where we are, it's called Comarox. I was sharing with Lynn, I was telling her, we were just across the road, one Karum, just across the road. It's called Kayole. This is called Spine Road. Maybe they can't see, but it's called Spine Road. Just here, we are just there. We were there, but now at least we thank God we have moved to this place. It's called Comarox. We have another office, Kasarani, just opposite police station, Eden Plaza, third floor. There's another office at Thika. The building is called Zuhura Place, third floor. So you can visit us in one of those offices that I've mentioned. At the same time, I'm going to show you our brochure. I don't know whether they can be in a position to see how it looks like. This is the brochure. You can find this brochure on our website. It is there. Or maybe you can find this brochure in one of those offices that I've mentioned. At the same time, we have our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We have our website. Maybe I can give them the website. It's www.greatmwanzovaluers.co.ke www.greatmwanzovaluers.co.ke. We also have an email. You can write to us through our email. It's greatmwanzo@gmail.com. greatmwanzo@gmail.com. I can also share our contact. Our contact is very easy. It's 0790-777-000. 0790-777-000 or 0790-777-000.
It sounds like a very great venture, very profitable, as put by Great Mwanzo Properties Management and Valuers Limited. But from what they have said, it takes honesty, it takes hard work, it takes
lots of research, and it takes dedication for you to succeed in this business of managing properties. From Great Mwanzo Properties Management and Valuers Limited, I am Preston. This has been the Budding Entrepreneur. It is the Properties Management Edition. See you next time. Have a night of your choice.